Heads up for drivers. Expect to see some more law enforcement on the roads this weekend. 7 News' Lauren Miller explains why troopers say it's all hands on deck.
Police will be patrolling all weekend, but South Carolina State Highway Patrol says drivers should expect to see the increase on the 4th and the 5th.
It's all hands on deck.
Master Trooper Brendan Bolt says they're looking for speeding and reckless driving, and they typically see more people out on the 5th.
Today is everybody's usually at their destination. So Friday is usually that travel day, Thursday evening leading up to the fireworks were all shot yesterday. Most people are camping. So everybody's going to be out and about on Saturday because it's the one full day they usually don't have to work, plus Sunday.
South Carolina Highway Patrol says last year there were 9 deaths on South Carolina roadways during the 4th of July travel period. 5 of those deaths involved a driver who was under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs. So drivers should expect to see more DUI checkpoints.
Every gray uniform is out and about. No one's got the holiday off this weekend because it's that busy. So there's going to be stepped up enforcement, saturations in certain areas that are our problem areas. We're also going to have more road checks tonight as we get on into the evening.
Lauren Spees says he's taken notice.
Today I drove down here to Columbia, and there have been quite a few police officers, and I saw some pulling over somebody. The GPS seemed to be going off more frequently than usual.
And Brian Litton, who's traveling from Myrtle Beach to Asheville, says he feels safer with more police on the road.
People are in such a big hurry, and it seems like when there's more traffic, people try to drive even faster to get where they're going, which makes it dangerous on the highways for everybody. We saw 3 accidents, and then the police were on the scene.
South Carolina Highway Patrol is also emphasizing the move over law. If you see EMS or law enforcement in an emergency lane, the law requires you to reduce your speed significantly. Lauren Miller, 7 News.
Authorities are reminding drivers to slow down and obey speed limits. Troopers say it was a contributing factor to 1 out of every 4 crashes during last year's 4th of July weekend in South Carolina.
It was a national news story. Earlier this year, a pregnant, brain-dead woman in Georgia was kept on life support to allow the fetus to grow.
Now an upstate doula care service is holding a summit to educate and support mothers to help them know their rights and to prevent higher maternal death rates in Black women. 7 News' Christine Scarpelli is in Spartanburg with the latest.
Birth Matters is the organization here in Spartanburg County, and they are working to combat those scary numbers we're seeing in African-American women. Mom Safari Hackett was in high school, looking at colleges to attend out of state, when life took an unexpected turn.
I was a teen mom with my first son. I didn't know a lot about pregnancy, the process. I didn't know a lot about myself.
She feared childbirth and breastfeeding, but doula services in Spartanburg came alongside Hackett to care for her mental, physical, and emotional needs.
She listened to me. I was scared, and I think everybody was putting the pressure of being a mom on me instead of listening to my emotional state and kind of how I felt about becoming a mom.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women. The CDC says inconsistent quality of health care and underlying chronic conditions are to blame. Also, social factors prevent racial and ethnic minority groups from having fair opportunities for economic, physical, and emotional health. Executive Director of Birth Matters, Amber Pendergraft, says they're holding a health summit in Spartanburg to help.
The women that look like me, not knowing about their options, their rights, not being heard in those birthing spaces. And once you have a doula is like your guide.
It's an advocate for the mother, able to explain medical jargon, connect mothers with doctors, and make a birth plan. Birth Matters also connects moms with local services like yoga. There are chiropractic sessions at Spartanburg County's Sherman College, even therapy sessions for moms, and doulas tackling depression, anxiety, discovering undiagnosed mood disorders, often at no cost.
Maybe you currently are not experiencing depression, but you had depression maybe in the past. Well, now you are at a higher risk of developing postpartum depression. So let's start working through that early.
Hackett says the support she got as a first-time mom was so helpful, she decided to become a doula herself at Birth Matters.
I want to be the person that is there with the moms. I want to be in the stand-in space with them.
They encourage women of all ages to attend and be prepared to help support moms and advocate for their health.
The Healthy Beginnings Summit will be right here at Wofford College, July 19th. They do ask that you sign up ahead of time. You can find out more information at WSPA.com. In Spartanburg County, Christine Scarpelli, 7 News.
In addition to celebrating the country's independence this 4th of July, the White House is also celebrating President Trump's big legislative victory. CBS's Erica Brown is at the White House where President Trump signed his new spending package.
What we've done is put everything into one bill.
During a 4th of July celebration at the White House, President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law. With congressional Republicans and members of his cabinet at his side, the president used the same gavel from the bill's final passage in the House Thursday.
This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy.
The legislation increases spending for border security and defense and extends Trump's 2017 tax cuts.
So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment.
The new law also makes steep cuts to safety net programs, including SNAP, the Food Assistance Program, and Medicaid. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the package will add more than $3 trillion to the deficit over the next decade, and close to 12 million people could lose their health coverage. During the Independence Day celebrations, U.S. military fighter jets roared over the White House, marking the nation's 249th birthday. The president also invited the B-2 pilots who flew the bombing mission on Iran's nuclear sites in June.
We owe you everything. Great job.
The celebrations wrapped Friday night with President Trump and his guests enjoying a fireworks display. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
The legislation includes tougher restrictions on Medicaid, which provides government-sponsored health care for low-income and disabled Americans. The bill imposes work requirements for some able-bodied adults and more frequent eligibility checks. On this holiday, we do want to start, though, with breaking news. State law enforcement has confirmed a shooting in Seneca last night involved a deputy. Now, just after midnight, deputies were conducting a welfare check at an apartment complex on Gale Court, and they say a man set fire to his own apartment. Officials say a deputy and that man shot at each other before the man ran to a nearby home. SLED then says the man was shot by the homeowner, and he was eventually detained and taken to the hospital. No deputies were injured.
Also breaking in Anderson County, the coroner says a man was shot and killed in Easley overnight. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office says they received reports of multiple shots fired after an altercation at a home on Colonial Drive. It happened just after midnight. Authorities say 44-year-old Clyde Davis III was shot multiple times. The coroner says Davis died at the scene. Investigators say it appears to be an isolated incident. We begin with breaking news tonight. Deputies say a woman was found dead early Friday morning in Union County. Authorities from the Union County Sheriff's Office say they responded to Monroe Street just before 2:30 a.m. on July the 4th. Investigators say they found a woman dead inside of a vehicle when they arrived. Details are limited at this hour, but the sheriff and coroner's offices are investigating.
Shooting in Taylor's is under investigation this morning. Deputies with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office responded to a 911 call just after 1 a.m. on West Tiger Bridge Road. An adult male was found with a gunshot wound and taken to the hospital. His condition is unknown. A person of interest has been detained, but no charges have been filed. Authorities believe the incident is isolated. Breaking news now, a death investigation is underway in Easley following a shooting early this morning. Police received the call just after 1 this morning along Colonial Drive. Authorities say the incident is isolated and there is no ongoing threat to the public. Detectives are still on scene as they continue their investigation. As we learn more, we'll keep you up to date on the air and on our website, WSPA.com.